What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out The Dungeon Beneath, which has gotten several updates since the last time that we saw it. If you're kind of tired of these follow-up videos, or kind of like these check-ins that I've been doing on other games, it's unfortunately a consequence of, like, the post-Christmas season is always really dead for indie releases. Like, nobody wants to release an indies, like, anywhere near Christmas whatsoever. And so anyways, there's always kind of like this month and a half period where there's, like, nothing much coming out. And so unfortunately, every year, I find myself here kind of like rechecking out things that we may have recently looked at, or, you know, things we may have looked at 8 or 9 months ago. Is what it is, but around the end of the month, we should start to see some more content come on out. The Dungeon Beneath, what is it? The Dungeon Beneath is a lightweight roguelike party builder where you dive down deep into a dungeon and your party auto-battles with groups of monsters. Every single entity in this game has abilities and, like, positional places they like to be on the grid, and you're trying to build a synergy that's going to be able to blast its way from the beginning of the game through to the end of the game. If after watching this video you wanted to get it for yourself and you think the game looks pretty cool, you can look down below in the description and I will have a link for you down there. On top of that, you'll also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch where you're more than welcome to join me on any given day of the week. Even on Thursday. That's right, I said it. Even on a Thursday. I know, who would do that? Who would allow you to access me on a Thursday? Well, I'll let you know that I am that guy. I also, for this video, I'm going to have some thoughts at the end of the video. What I try to do is I try to, like, leave the last 3 to 4 minutes for my condensed thoughts about the game sum total so that you can get some basic review commentary on in there. Hopefully somebody will mark it with a bookmark or call it out for you with the timestamps. I don't know exactly how those get assigned on YouTube. You know, like when you Google something on YouTube and it's got that little, like, progress bar underneath the video and it's got, like, the different sections of the video all labeled? Who does that? I've never done that in my life, and yet every single one of my videos has that. Who does that? I don't know. Is it the viewers? Is it YouTube itself? I don't know. I don't know how to do my job properly. Let's dive on in. Alright, so at the beginning of the game, we gotta pick a hero. You don't really get to pick a hero so much as, like, you randomly generate heroes. So, like, there are basic archetypes like Mariana and Jack and Tazgin. These characters always come in every single time, but they'll have different artifacts on them each time you generate them. And so you kind of want to go through and just kind of take a look and see what they have. So, for example, he's got the Staff of the Sky. Battle start, deal 4 damage, randomly split between all enemies. That's pretty spicy. That's pretty good. I think I'll probably go with that. So let's take old Taz on in here and see what he can do inside the dungeon. Here for... Ah, it's you. Back again, huh? Okay, head on in. Okay, so we're at the beginning of the dungeon. This is a brief respite that they're going to give you in order to take a look at your party comp and figure out what abilities and things you have rocking in your favor. With Tazgin, we've got the Essence Distiller, and he is inexhaustible. Any character, so this guy, if he dies, we lose the entire game. And so anybody that has an unopposed lane will strike directly to our hero. Your speed is basically where you are in the initiative order for your attacks. Your attack is how much damage you deal. Those little slots off to the left of our character's portrait, that's how many items he can equip. So he can have like 3 rings, staves, armor, whatever you want to throw on him. On this side, we've got the Cleric of the Path. The Cleric of the Path restores 1 health to a damaged non-heroic ally. So that's any of these guys in the front. And then we have these default followers who are freaking terrible. So we want to replace them at our earliest convenience. They can't level up. They can only have 1 piece of equipment. They're not really worth upgrading. So, like, we're going to do our best to get rid of them post-haste. Toot sweet. Essence Distiller, after the first round, you summon an enemy Lesser Void Wisp. Okay. We'll see how that works in actuality, but we gotta fight this slime first. So the battle has gone off right there, and as you can see at the beginning of the fight, he gets to deal 4 damage randomly distributed to everybody. We're actually in a pretty good position right now. I'm not actually that upset about where we're at. I think we can get away with putting him right there just so the priest has a little bit of a buffer in front of him because he's pretty squishy. Also, these guys can't level up, which means that it doesn't matter if they die. You get XP at the end of most combats, and in getting that XP at the end of most combats, you apply it to one of your characters. 3 XP allows them to level up. So attacks itself and deals damage to allies. Gotcha. Okay. I was wondering why it said that it deploys that on the enemy's side, but it looks like it's just kind of a grenade that annoys the enemy to death. Perfect. That actually finished off the fight, and we didn't have to do anything at all. I'll take it. That's actually a pretty sweet ability. I'm fairly happy with that one. We get some coins at the end of the fight. We'll go ahead and throw those on into our backpack, and we'll head to the next room. This is the Campfire. The Campfire is where you're going to be able to recruit new heroes. I would recommend that you replace all of these followers about as soon as possible. I think the Divine Protector is a pretty solid choice. When an ally is summoned, give them shield. We don't really have any summons, so that doesn't play into our overall strategy very well. The other thing that we could go to is we could go with the Hypogean Lizard Folk. He's going to give health back to other lizard folk, but we don't have other lizard folk. So, not going to get a lot of mileage out of that ability either. The other thing that we can do is we can go with the Sharpshooter. When an enemy gets poisoned, deal damage to them. That is a nice foundation for doing kind of like a spam machine gun build. If we could get everybody else in our party to be putting poison on the enemy, that'd be pretty good, but there's not a whole lot of blocks here to build with. Now, we've got a pretty cool dwarf over here who gets a shield when he kills somebody. And then we've got a Sun Mage over here, gains double the amount of power. Power is a buff that you get that increases your attack, so it just doubles whatever the bonus is going to be, which in certain comps could actually make that guy really, really powerful, like 6-7 damage a turn. I'm not in love with all of my options right now. I'll go with the Wizard for the moment. But that does leave me a little bit overextended. We'll try that out, but I'm not going to hold out a lot of hope that this is a great idea. We'll take the Slime Cube in the next room. Let's see if we can drop him. Not going to lie, didn't really get a whole lot of stuff there that I wanted. He just summoned 2 more. Oh, man. Alright, well, if nothing else, we whittled down some of his ads, so I'll take it. Let's go ahead and get started. So we've got an attack coming out to the bottom column. Dude's dead. This guy's going to split into 2 more enemies. One of them is in the lane that we're already at, and he's got an AoE, so that's going to help us get cooking here. How much damage does he deal? Deals 2 damage. Okay, good to know. And then we've summoned the bomb over there. So follow-up, restore, does something after the character's normal attack. Okay, so hopefully he'll heal himself. Doesn't matter, because the fight should be over with this explosion right here. Oh, he canceled out the damage. That's cute. That's real, real cute. Either way, we survived. We made it through the conflict. I'm not real happy with our party comp right now. I feel like we're going to need to prioritize some campfires if we want to fix this. Don't really have anybody to throw the XP on either. The only person that I'm planning on keeping is maybe the mage. I think I'm probably going to get rid of the cleric too, so I guess we'll see. Inside this room, you're going to get a piece of loot for one of your characters. It is a necrotic wand. So at the end of the round, deal 1 damage to the enemy with the lowest health. Okay, I think we'll get the most mileage out of that if we put it on our hero. Because everybody else can kind of die and lose access to that ability. And so I'm sort of the opinion that we kind of put that on the guy who dies last no matter what. Alright, so the round has started off. I actually didn't check to see what he does. I should have done that. Oh, there's a lost adventurer in our party. We have a bonus objective right here. We've got to protect this guy. Ow, the counter-strike, though. Oh, he can move. Interesting. So he moves whenever he gets hit. Gotcha. There goes 1 damage out right there, and then we've got a bomb up and ready to go. Oh, I don't want to reset. We're winning right now. You don't reset when you're winning. You reset when you're getting your ass kicked in an unholy way. No, not my cleric. Not my cleric. That was my most favorite clerical employee of all the employees. Because we protected the adventurer, we get a little bit of bonus coin right there. That'll be helpful because I need a campfire real bad to sort of fix the problems with our party right now. We have a lot of people that are not specialized and not really providing any mileage that's helping us out. So when an ally dies, gain power. That's really good for a summon build with a lot of little critters that have 1 HP. When this character kills an enemy, give +1 power to all allied lizard folk. Not in love with our options right now. I think the Royal Guard is a good idea because we have a healer. So we'll dismiss him, and we'll swap in the Royal Guard. Up here at the top left, that's our party maximum right there. Haunted by Abaddon, the Heart of the Moon. I thought it was some kind of weird slime boob, dude. I'm not going to lie, I had no idea what that was. In the first round, summons 2 doves. That could work because it would fill in the 2 gaps that we have. What does he do? Allied summon characters get +1 attack. He would work pretty well with these 2 in collusion with one another. If I sell this guy, I'll have the 6 gold to do it. These guys are pretty squishy, though. And they kind of need to be in the back line, so I don't know if that's going to work. Let's recycle it real fast. We've got a Night Elf Fighter. Trigger all allied Doom effects. I don't have anybody with Doom. If this character kills an enemy, gain a gold, deal 1 damage to the lowest health enemy. Roll it again. I need some kind of frontliner. So we've got the Butcher. When this character kills an enemy, restore health to a non-heroic allied enemy. He does get power for that. So that would be a solid choice, I would think. I still wish that I had one more guy, though, because I can't protect this cleric. Like, this cleric is just here. Like, he's going to get bulldozed through at some point. So I get the feeling I'm probably going to have to replace him with some kind of frontliner. I just don't see any, especially since he's directly responsible for protecting my main hero. I don't see a whole lot of ways that he's going to go the distance, how he's going to go for speed, how he's going to be all alone in his time of need. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and take a first chop at these guys, see how it goes. His damage is getting awfully high. Hey, there we go. He just got healed. Yeah, I was going to say, Cleric got bulldozed right there. Cleric had kind of a rough day due to the stacking power buff that this guy keeps getting for having my allies killed. We're going to go ahead and slot him in right there. If you move a character, they become exhausted and they can't act on the next turn. I'm of like 2 minds about this. On one hand, it does kind of add a little bit of constraint to the player, but it does bug me that the enemy can move their units around as much as they want without having to deal with exhaustion. I kind of feel like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like, I feel like they should be subject to the same constraints that the player is. Like, if they move their guys around, they should also kind of have to... Wow, that's 7 damage right there. That's horrifying. Absolutely horrifying, but at least the guy we're trying to level up stayed alive. Down goes the final enemy. When your guys die, they're not dead permanently. They're going to pop back into existence right at the end of the fight. The only punishment you get is that you're not allowed to use XP on anybody that died. But we weren't planning on using XP on anybody other than the mage anyways. So we'll go ahead and upgrade the mage real fast and see if we get anything good out of here. We've got 2 damage out of the mage. That's actually really, really nice. A 2 damage AoE, and he got 1 HP. If we can find a sweet item to put on top of him that gives him, like, even more damage, I feel like he may be a winner. We got a glove right there. It gives +1 health. You gain +2 armor at the beginning of the fight. The cleric, I think, is the choice here, even though we weren't planning on keeping the cleric that long. Yeah, I don't like the idea, but it is an idea. Oh boy. All right. That's a terrible play. I wish I didn't have to do it, but like, I gotta fortify that middle lane somehow. Okay, not too bad. And we do have a lot of enemies clumped up too. Oh, there's spikes right there. Okay, I guess move to the front. I'm gonna have to move him back because he can only attack from the back line. I guess I could put him right there. But I feel like our main character is going to take a lot of damage if I do that. Oh, he's on the spikes too. Jesus. Okay, let's put you right there then, and let's start it off. I think we've got everybody clear. We may have to get a little bit messy with this fight. There's the AoE, knocked out the entire back line. You love to see it. Okay, not a bad opening salvo. I think we actually started that off pretty good, and I'm fairly happy with the way that that resolved. My cat just slipped and fell off the desk, and that's hilarious. That's actually like one of the funniest things I've seen all day. He just tried to jump from like my bookcase over to my desk, but the desk was slippy, and so his little paws scrabbled and then flew off the desk. I keep telling him to stop doing that. He doesn't listen. Like, he thinks that I'm just trying to ruin his fun instead of actually giving him, like, good and solid advice. Who do I want to level up next? I'm thinking we go for the Knight because he's already level 2. We'll take him up to level 3. This is a shop right here where you can buy items. I'm of two minds right now. I kind of want to go to the Campfire and see if we can pick up somebody to replace the Cleric. But at the same time, items would be good too. But that's what I like about this game is they very, very frequently kind of catch you between a rock and a hard place, trying to decide what you want to take, what bonuses you desire. Like, I do think that we can get this build to work. There's some assembly of soldiers here that'll make this work, but we recycled that last Campfire like 3 times, and I really didn't get anything that was jump out at me as like, ooh, I need this right now. After a bit of thought, I think I'm going to go for the Campfire. We got to rearrange this party comp somehow. Like, it's working okay, but it's just because the mage is putting the whole thing on his shoulders. So we've got another Cleric of the Dark over here. I like the Cleric of the Dark, but he needs items. Like, he needs to be able to hit for better damage before he's going to be reliable. We got another Hypogean over here. We've got an Enchanter, give all allied mages +1 power. Oh. Good sweet Lord baby Jeebus. I could really turn him into a monster. Even with +1 power, he's doing a 3 AoE, which should be enough to wipe out most lines. Man, tough call. It could be a really bad idea, or it could be a really good idea. He's fairly squishy. But I do think we're getting more mileage out of him than we're getting out of the Cleric, so throw him on in there. We'll hope for the best. We haven't lost any health. I'm going to recycle the Campfire real quick. He's a level 1 fighter, level 1 druid, lightning mage. I'd like to replace this guy with a level 2 if we can get one. So we've got a steel summoner. So on the first round, he summons a lesser metal wisp. Damage is a little bit lackluster, but I don't know what the wisp does, but if he could summon the wisp in front of the mage, that'd be good. We haven't put any XP into that guy, so we'll move this dude up to the front, and we'll kind of see what happens. That's kind of what I like about this game, though, is, like, you don't always know exactly what you're going to try to do, so he attacks twice. Okay, we spread around some pretty good damage right there. I'll take it. Oh, he can only be in the front? Oh, he is a fighter. I guess it did say that. There goes that entire lane. Ow. Oh, he counts as a mage. Nice. I guess it does say mage on his character card. Fantastic. I'll take it. I'm going to leave everybody right where they're at. I'd like to level him up, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Ow. What does the wisp actually do? Does the wisp do anything? Give another ally armor. Okay, so we basically just want to plop him in the front lines once the steel summoner goes down. Honestly, not the worst boss fight that I've ever had. Like, considering the fact we took a casualty right there, which I would rather not do, we still pulled it through up into the end. We got a double XP right there. Let's go ahead and level up the Royal Guard. Royal Guard has now been leveled up, and he has 9 HP. Very nice. I don't really have anything that's feeding him power from, like, healing or whatever. But, like, honestly, the ability's kind of, like, underwhelming anyways. And so, like, meh. Give +1 attack to a lizard folk, gnome, and elemental. Okay, so for that situation, we would want to have a lizard folk, a gnome, and an elemental. Your hero attacks an additional time. It's kind of cool. We can re-roll it for 2 gold. Ethereal Essence. When your ally loses a shield, give them attack. When you visit a campfire, get gold. Allied mages cannot be exhausted. Like that. That means I can move guys around and not suffer for it. I like the idea of not suffering. In fact, I have endeavored for the greatest majority of my entire life to exist in a state of not suffering. To greater or lesser levels of success, you know. Here's the witch. She's going to have a whole bunch of potions for us. Unfortunately, versatility transforms a fighter into a multi-class, transforms a mage into a multi-class, letting them use equipment from any other class. Oh, that's not too bad. Midas potion just turns my mage into a gold statue that I can sell for a bunch of money, which right now feels like a really, really bad idea. I don't feel like we've really been limited by the items that we can equip thus far. Not enough anyways to think about spending some of my hard-earned gold. I'm sure that someone in the comments that has played this game far more than I have will be like, bro, that's a meta pick, you gotta do it, man! And then I'm just gonna sit here with egg on my face. Not just because I had scramblies for breakfast and I do a really poor job at maintaining my own hygiene, but also because that's a metaphor. Okay, give it a go. Hopefully the mage fires to the right location. There's our self-destruct right there. There's our nuke. Looks good. 2 damage out right there. Ow. Almost lost the steel guy. That's okay, though. Let's protect the steel guy by moving him back. I want to level him up, so... There we go. Apparently that was like a ghost eye that doesn't block. I've really got to learn to like mouse over things. But like honestly, this is one of those games that you kind of play while you're doing something else. It doesn't really require that much attention. Let's go ahead and we will... Honestly, part of me is tempted to keep leveling up the mage. The mage seems to be our ringer right now and the only one actually bringing results, so maybe we'll go for the mage instead. Got the healing potion right there, so we're back up at full health. We do have options. We do have people to pick from. Wow, that fighter has +2 attack while at maximum health and is inexhaustible. Whew. Oh, boy. Okay. But he has no attack once he takes damage. Oh, no, he has 2 attack. That's actually good for a strong alpha. I kind of like it. Kind of bummed out that I spent a whole bunch of resources leveling up the Royal Guard now. If I'd known he was coming up, I wouldn't have. We'll give that a go. I mean, he feels like a strong character to me, so... I don't really have a whole lot of healing utilities or anything. I had the cleric, but most damage in this game is not like 1 damage. It's usually 2 or 3. So the 1 HP from the cleric wasn't really going to help us resolve any major issues anyways. Oh, he also gets out-initiatived. That's a bummer. Mage should be able to nuke that back line pretty hard, though. They do have far more movement, or I guess initiative, than we do. May lead to heartache. I'm going to move him back real quick, just so the slime can block for him. Not great. Not great at all. Gotta make a choice here. Do I want to take that 4 hit? Feels like a bad plan. I'll have him soak the hit. Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna win the fight anyways, so, like, it'll be okay. I wish we hadn't lost the Steel Summoner. I feel like I only brought him in to be, like, a punching bag, and I feel kind of guilty about it. I don't know, dude. Nobody wants to get hired to the party to be a punching bag. It's just a rough situation to be in. Like, I'm not hiring you for your skill sets. I'm not hiring you for your looks or your charm. I am hiring you to get knifed in my stead. I'm like, this job seems like it kind of sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This job kind of seems like booty holes. +1 attack if below max health. The Berserker's X could go on the Sword Dancer so that he gets an attack bonus no matter what he does. It's kind of expensive. When an ally dies, deal damage to the nearest enemy. +1 attack, -2 health. Shield is kind of the obvious play here. But since he's a mage, he can't have it. We'll go for that. That seems okay. That might have been a toss away, but no matter what, he'll still be dealing good damage now, so. Now we have a bonus to kill the golden wisp. Shouldn't be too hard. That zombie down in the bottom lane's a little bit of a headache, but we have nobody damaging our elf, so we should be able to go pretty hard in the paint here and wipe out the enemy. Okay, we got the wisp for the bonus gold. Sounds good. He's now poisoned. Feels bad. I desperately want to level him up, and the game is just not letting me do it. It doubled up on me. Yeah, that poison damage is a little bit obnoxious. I'm not going to lie. All these summons are kind of out of control, too. I actually think we may lose this fight, in all honesty. Like, a lot of our guys are about to die, like, right this second. That poison is just taking us too long to focus any damage on these guys. Yep. It's not looking good. Yep, I was gonna say, like, I had a feeling that party comp was gonna fall apart. We just had really, really bad luck with the campfires there. Like, we just didn't really have anything that could pull together. Like, we didn't have anything too awesome that we got off the boss either that gave us kind of like, you want like the items that give bonuses to entire races or entire classes, basically. And we didn't really get anything like that. We did get the lizard folk book. And like, but like, when we got it, we had like one gnome that would have benefited from it, and then we would have had to rebuild our entire party around it. And there's no guarantee you're going to get the lizard folk when you get to the campfire. And so I was like, I gambled on something else. I had a feeling some of my decisions might have been dubious on that one. So at the end of the run, you're going to get a little bit of progress right there. And then you're going to go right back to the beginning, and you're going to do it again. So this is the Dungeon Beneath. Dungeon Beneath is a really appealing game. I think it's got a lot of really fun RPG auto-battler mechanics going on that make it satisfying. Obviously, the game is using the same visual pack as Keeper RL and a number of other indie games, but you don't really tend to notice due to the modifications that they've made to the sprites as the units level up. The soundtrack is a banger. It's really, really good, and it's got some fantastic tracks that'll keep you moving in your seat as you play. And it requires just enough attention as a sum total game to be the sort of title that you can keep on a second monitor while you're like pretending to work. I could, I'm not gonna pretend like that's not what I do some days. And so I assume other people do as well. The one real area where I think that the game could show some improvement is in the party selection RNG portion of the game. As you fill out your roster and kind of advance your progression levels, you're going to end up with a lot of classes that won't fit into the current build that you're working towards on your run. And what this leads to is like a really, really large amount of re-rolling the shop, trying to get the guy that you need in order to round out the party. And the problem gets worse, ironically, as you get better at the game and further on into your progression. In order to kind of fix this, what I'd recommend is that every 5 to 7 levels or so of progression, you get maybe like +1 recruits at the campfire, with the final goal of maybe being around 5 guys for selection, just to minimize the RNG a little bit. I think a balance pass is probably in order as well. They're getting kind of into the home stretch of the game's development right now, but a balance pass for some of the items and characters and relics I think would be a good thing too. There's nothing particularly like egregiously overpowered or underpowered about the game, but there are definite like choices that are really, really good compared to others and certain builds that will take you to the end game consistently with their synergies, and it makes all the other choices seem kind of lackluster. And so anyway, since replayability is an important part of any rogue-styled game, buffing up some of the weaker items and character synergies would, I think, give you more opportunities to help out with kind of the replayability as well, so that your picks will be a little bit more complex and have a little bit more texture to them. That all out of the way, I think The Dungeon Below is a really, really good game. I think it's fantastic. I like the vast majority of the things that it's got going on. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, We had the Dungeon Beneath, as I said previously. Tomorrow we'll have something else. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.